If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the rage bait.
It feels like it's trying to divide people.
If we got clear facts, maybe we can calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
Sunday morning. Well, what the heck is going on? Well, there's only one Republican seat in all of New York City in Washington. And guess what? The Democrats want to go after it. And I don't understand why. With us today is Nicole Malliotakis, the congresswoman that has that seat. Nicole, fill in all the New Yorkers and all of Americans. What the heck is going on?
Well, during all the chaos of this last election, something happened that maybe a lot of people didn't notice. There was a Washington law firm, Democrat-connected firm, that filed a lawsuit saying that somehow my district, Staten Island, Southern Brooklyn, New York's 11th district, the only Republican-held seat in our entire city, the most competitive seat in our city, somehow disenfranchises Latinos and minorities. And it is completely outrageous and a frivolous lawsuit. But once again, John, we're seeing Democrats' desperate attempt to redraw the lines, not only of my district, but the other districts in New York, to tilt the scale to give themselves an advantage. And you know, we've been through this twice before. I have not run for re-election once without having to go to court to fight to preserve our congressional district. And the interesting thing is that this map was independently drawn by a special master that was court appointed after we won the initial lawsuit in 2022. And then in 2024, when the Democrats tried it again and they changed the makeup of the court and was successful in court, they actually didn't do much changing to this district, and it was signed off by our Democrat state legislature and the governor. So for this Democrat firm in Washington to now try to come in and say somehow this disenfranchises people, especially when I'm the first Hispanic elected from this district, is absolutely ludicrous. But we have to go to court, unfortunately, again, John, and fight for the voices of the people of Staten Island and Southern Brooklyn.
Well, that is mind-boggling. Tell us about, I'm sure we're going to win this one because of the fact that the Constitution is the Constitution. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, so they filed this lawsuit in state court, and it's funny because they say that they were doing this to protect Staten Islanders, and yet somehow they thought it was a good idea to file this lawsuit in Manhattan. Isn't that interesting? But what we know is we're going to have to fight this out in court. We may have to go to all three courts in New York State. And then we also have the ability to take it to federal court because they are saying that this is race-related. And so this case has the potential of going all the way to the Supreme Court. And that's why I ask New Yorkers to support my efforts here to preserve New York City's only competitive district. I'm the only Republican representing our city in Washington. That's even more critical right now with the election of Zohran Mamdani. I have to work with President Trump to protect New Yorkers from this radical left takeover of our city. And so we need to protect this district. I ask people, we're going to have a long legal battle here. Go to my website, Nicole4ny.com, and support our efforts to preserve this district. Again, it's the most competitive, the only competitive seat in the entire city of New York. And that's what they don't like about it. They don't want one Republican representing our city. They want to be able to do whatever they want without any oversight, without any pushback, without anybody out there telling the truth and exposing them. And that's really what this is about. We've beat them twice before. Now we need to do it again.
And I believe that I heard from one of my friends in Massachusetts, there's not a single, not even one Republican seat in the whole state of Massachusetts. I mean, that doesn't pass the smell test either.
especially when you see states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Mexico. Trump got about 40% or so in those states, and yet they don't have one congressional Republican representative. You're right. So if anybody's gerrymandering, historically, it's been these Democrat states. And even Maryland now, the governor said that they're going to put together a commission to redraw the maps to make sure they're fair when you only have one Republican in the entire state. So they're going to go after that one Republican as well. Now, look, John, I've been critical of gerrymandering, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats doing it. When Texas came out with their plan, I criticized it and said it was wrong. Redistricting is a process that is done once a decade after the census to make sure that the districts are populated correctly. And we should not be going through this every 2 years. It's ludicrous. And it actually discourages people from running for office. So if somebody wants to challenge me today, how do they know what district they'd be running in? And it actually disenfranchises people more by having uncertainty of what your map looks like and where you would be drawn into to run for office. And so I think this is it's really unfortunate, but it's going to cost us millions of dollars. And so please go to NicoleForNY.com, support our efforts to preserve the most competitive, the only competitive seat. And lastly, I'll say Staten Island is represented by a Democrat district attorney. Staten Island has had 2 congressional Democrat representatives over the last decade. This is not a district that somehow is just a Republican district or drawn to be such. This has been a very competitive, as I said, for a long time now, where we've had Democrats elected. The reason why Democrats aren't being elected right now is because they're horrible and their policies are terrible. They cannot win on merit in debate, John, which is why they want to redraw our map to tilt the scale to give themselves an advantage next year.
Nicole Malliotakis, thank you so much for coming on, and let's help preserve the congressional seat for GOP in New York. Well, the GOP deserves at least one seat in New York City, and God bless you, God bless America, and thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning.
Thank you, John.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.